Dear beloved, the message I want to share with you today is simple yet profound. When we are weak, then we are strong because God's power rests on our weakness. In 2 Corinthians 12, the Apostle Paul opens up with a deeply personal testimony. Paul, as we know, was a great man of God, entrusted with revelations, visions, and spiritual authority. And yet, Paul also carried something he called a thorn in the flesh. It was painful. It was persistent. It was a burden that followed him even as he served God powerfully. Now, we don't know exactly what this thorn was. Some think it was a physical ailment, others believe it was emotional or spiritual suffering. But what we do know is this: Paul pleaded with God, not once, not twice, but 3 times, to take it away. But God didn't remove it. Instead, he gave Paul an answer far more powerful. Backhand index pointing right, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Isn't that amazing? God didn't just say, "No." He said, "What you really need is not freedom from weakness, but the power of grace in the midst of it." And what does Paul do with that answer? He doesn't complain. He doesn't grow bitter. He responds with joy and surrender. "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me." Friends, this is the spiritual truth we often forget. We don't have to be strong for God to use us. We don't have to have it all together for His presence to dwell in us. In fact, it's the opposite. God's power is not revealed in our perfection, it's revealed in our brokenness. You see, we live in a world that teaches us to hide weakness, to cover up failure, to avoid showing vulnerability. But the gospel turns that upside down. God is saying to you and me today, don't hide your thorn. Bring it to me. Let my strength shine through it. Every one of us has a thorn. Maybe it's physical pain. Maybe it's emotional trauma, shame, loneliness, or a sin you've battled for years. Whatever it is, don't believe the lie that God can only use the strong. God specializes in using the weak. Look at Jesus. He came not as a warrior, but as a humble servant. He died a shameful death on a cross, rejected, mocked, crucified. And yet, that moment of ultimate weakness became the moment of ultimate victory. Through death came resurrection. Through weakness came salvation. So I want to ask you today, where are you weak? What is the thorn in your flesh? What have you been begging God to take away? You may still be waiting for healing. You may still be struggling. But listen carefully, God's promise has not changed. My grace is sufficient for you. That grace is enough to carry you, enough to lift your head, enough to turn your pain into purpose. You are not disqualified because of your weakness. In fact, you are qualified by your surrender. Because when we come to the end of ourselves, that is where God begins. So don't be ashamed of your weakness. Boast in it. Rejoice in it. Because it means Christ's power is resting on you. May you walk today not in your own strength, but in the strength that comes from the Lord. May you know that in your weakness He is enough. And may His grace cover every thorn, every scar, and every moment you feel like you can't go on. His grace is sufficient. His power is made perfect in your weakness. Amen.